Manchester, Gladys Knight and the Pips. I'm Heather Stott. A very good morning to you. Now, remember those extra nights out you had over Christmas? The expensive food you put in the trolley at the supermarket, all those presents you bought on your credit card? Well, it may well be time to face the music. Around the middle of the month, the credit card bills will begin to hit the doormats across the country, and many people will be faced with the worry of how to pay for all the Christmas excess. And this is on top of many concerns about job security, the rising cost of living, the VAT increase for 2011. Well, Georgina Earle and Nicola Scowen run their own advice line, Women in Debt, and they are with you now. Georgina, Nicola, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Georgina, this is a problem that a lot of people are going to have to face, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a prime time of year where everyone's overspent over Christmas, New Year, the run-up to Christmas really. Credit card bills will start hitting the doorsteps come around about middle of next week, and they'll have to be paid beginning the end of the month, beginning of February.
Now, Nicola, you've already started taking calls on this from people who are incredibly worried.
Absolutely. I think that the Christmas hangover, and not from the alcohol but from the spending, actually starts just after New Year, because reality then bites. And we're already being flushed with calls from women who are in terrible trouble and terrible financial trouble, and absolutely at their wits' end.
I've seen these adverts on the television recently for these short-term loans with incredible APR rates on them. Say you take your typical credit card, 13.9% APR, typical.
Yeah.
The ones that I've been watching on the telly, just short of 3,000% APR. It's just incredible. In fact, you were saying, Nicola, you've taken a call about this recently.
Absolutely. I mean, they have a place in the market because everything has to be, and it is licensed. However, they're not a solution for most people.
Right.
One of the issues is that if you can pay them back within a very short period, say 2 weeks, then they serve a purpose.
Right.
However, if you can't, and all you have done is use them as a sticking plaster on a bigger problem, then they can create a massive problem. So your debt concerns can become absolute debt explosion. We talked to a lady yesterday who borrowed £400 2 months ago, can't pay it back, owes £1,200 on that very same loan.
Right, so it's tripled already.
Absolutely.
So she had a problem at 400.
Yes.
And now she's got a problem that's 1,200.
Well, she has a bigger problem than that, because she's actually taken 8 others to try and use a stopgap. She's now in an absolutely desperate situation. I'm not being overly dramatic, but she really is at the end of her tether. And it's a difficult situation, even for us as professional debt counsellors, to resolve, because the interest is being racked up at 10, 11, 20, 30 pounds every day. So for us to deal with it, we could double her loan in the time it takes for us to get into negotiation with these companies.
Lord, 20, 30 pounds a day just stacking up every day.
Yes.
And this woman that you were talking to last night, so far at the end of her tether that, losing reason, really.
Absolutely. Can't reason the fact that for us, her level of debt is quite small in comparison to most of the callers that we get. But for her, because it has escalated so fast, and the threats are coming thick and fast now, with doorstep collection threats, and her biggest fear is she borrowed this £400 without her husband knowing. 2 months ago. She's borrowed more money since. It's now up to something like £5,000-6,000 just on these short-term loans, and they're threatening doorstep collection because she absolutely can't pay the capital back. They're not asking for £20 a month, they're asking for the full amount back on every single one of these loans.
This is a desperate situation, obviously, for the lady here concerned, but she's not alone, Georgina. People are taking out these short loans and not paying them back. So what do we do if we want to get our finances, turn over a new leaf in 2011? Let's get this sorted, get it started. Where's your first port of call if you find yourself in a situation that we've just been talking about?
Well, this lady was unfortunate enough to realise that she's got a problem and ring us. The first thing you need to do is admit you've got a problem.
Okay.
Like anything, overeating, over drinking, over New Year, you decide to do something about it. Overspending is just the same. Admit you've got a problem. share the burden with somebody. If you share it with a family member, a friend, or someone that you can trust. If you don't have anyone like that, ring somebody like us, pick up the directory, someone that you know is reputable and that you can trust. Don't try and fix the problem yourself. Get some proper advice.
Because once you get to this level of debt, you're not thinking clearly anymore, are you?
It's the level of interest, not necessarily the debt. Once you're actually out of control and you're not in control of your finances, that's when you need some financial help. The other thing that we would probably say, put at the top of your list, is start using cash. Stop using plastic. You're much more aware when you're using cash of how much money you're actually spending, rather than if you get the plastic out and even if it's just a debit card, you don't recognise how many times you're doing that. Whereas if you've got so many 20s or 10s in your purse and every time you use one you see it's dwindling away, you start to realise. And the other thing we would recommend is maybe keep a cash diary. So as well as using cash, every time you go into your purse, just write down what you've written, and it just makes you more aware of how much you are spending each week or each month to actually get by.
That's a very, very good advice. Do you have a website, Nicola?
We do. It's www.womenindebt.co.uk.
Brilliant. Thanks for talking to us this morning, Georgina Earle and Nicola Scowen, who run Women in Debt. It's BBC